All right, in this video we are going to talk about doors and possibly windows. I might separate those into two different videos. Matter of fact, I think I will do that. So let's talk about doors. All right, so doors. We have doors on our home. Everybody has doors. You know what doors are. If you live in a home, apartment, or whatever, it's going to have doors. Doors, that's how we get in and out of the house. That's what protects us from the outside when they're locked. And of course, it helps separate the spaces indoors as well. Excuse me. So, doors. First thing we'll do is we will look at the rooms we have. Now, I'm going to have more rooms upstairs. Right now, I'm just going to go over the doors for the bottom, for the lower half. We'll do some other things with the upstairs. But with our doors, we're going to go to the Architecture tab. And I'm going to click on the Door tool. Now, with the Door tool active, all you can do is place doors. You can't place windows or anything else. You can only place doors. So I'm going to click on the Door tool. And by default, I already have a door loaded. And that's quite a big door for what I'm going to use. I'm going to place interior doors. So most of these will be like bedroom doors. Let's see, one, two, an office door will be one of them. So I'm going to choose this 30 by 80. That's a pretty good door to use indoors. 30 wide by 80 tall. All right, the first room is going to be the master bedroom. So I am going to find a good place to put this door. Zoom in. And as you see, as you hover over the wall, it does kind of pre-load a door, gives you an idea what it's going to look like. Now, for bedrooms, we want doors to open to the inside of that room. Typically, always, a door should open to the inside of the area that it's leading you into. Sometimes that may vary with special circumstances. But as you can see, I also need to think about how I'm placing that door and which way the door swing is going. The door swing should swing in a direction to where it takes up as little space as possible. Okay, so as we can look and see, the door swing in this case is not doing that. Okay, so I'm going to hit the space bar to flip it around. Now the door is opening to where it is taking up less space in the room. I want to get it about 3 to 6 inches from the wall. Now you want to be consistent. Typically it will kind of snap. So if I move it a little bit, it will sort of snap along the way. And it'll snap at a pretty consistent distance. So I want it about right there. Okay, there we go. So now I have a door. Once you click and place the door, it cuts the wall out for you. There are some controls on here, and actually you can see some of the dimensions. So from the wall to the middle of the door was 1 foot 6 inches. Right there, 1 foot 6 inches. So that's a number that you can keep in mind. So I'm seeing where I'm placing the door, and I like that. I definitely want to leave enough room for trim. Okay, so I think that's going to be plenty of room for trim. Let's measure it and see. Yeah, that's 3 inches. Perfect. That is plenty of room for the trim to go around the door. All right, so again, I'll probably remember this figure, 1 foot 6 inches, and every time I place the door, I want to make sure that from the wall to the center of the door is 1 foot 6 inches. Okay, and this might be a handy place to take notes and things like that. You should have a notebook going, and as you're designing, you're jotting things like that down so you don't forget them and you don't have to go back and look them up again and waste all that time. All right, so anyway, there are some controls on the doors. This control will allow me to switch the door swing back and forth. And this control will allow me to switch the door swing from inside to outside. Okay, but this right here is perfect. That's what we want on that door. Now I'm going to click on that door, and then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose Create Similar. So I can go back into my door tool, and I want to put one right here for this office. Flip it around. And try to get something like that 1 foot 6 inch again. There we go, 1 foot 6 inches. And for some reason, actually, I know why. That wall is thicker than the previous wall, I think, that we were looking at. What is this wall? This is an interior 4/7/8. That's also okay. Well, let's adjust this a little bit. We want to still maintain that 3 inches at least. And let's check that out, see where we're at. 3 9/16. Okay, so we can bump it back this way a little bit. 1 inch, about. And let's go back up 1. Now, once you start getting this going, it's not going to be quite this difficult. 2 13/16. That's pretty close, but I want to get this just right. Three 1/16. That is close enough. It's only 1/16 off, so we can live with that. All right, so that was the door to the office. The next door that we need on this one, there's not many doors down here on the bottom floor, but the next door that we need is going to be an exterior door. We'll need, let's see, 2 of them, and actually 1 for the garage as well. The one leading in from the house, or in from the garage into the house from the garage, is also more or less an exterior door. It doesn't have to be weatherproof, but it does have to be pretty hardy. All right, so let's just go to our door tool. Let's find some outside doors. Now, of course, with Revit, the availability of, off-the-shelf Revit of the different doors are not very many. They're really just enough to get you started. What people do with their doors is they actually model individual doors, and we'll talk about that much later in the program. But for right now, I just want you to choose a door. We want to choose an exterior door. Okay. So we have some side lights. I'll show you what side lights are because I like to use side lights. There is a double full glass and wood door, but we want a single entry, and I want the, there's another one. There we go. The one with the half circle, they say, or the arch at the top. Don't want that one. I'm going to click on it, open. And it's going to ask for a size. Okay, front door is best to make 36 inches wide. Not all doors are 36 inches wide in the front, but that's what I choose. Typically, they just have to be 32 inches to meet code, but I like 36-inch doors because it gives you plenty of room to bring furniture and things like that into the house. Some designers don't really think of it that way, but I do. Okay, now because it's an exterior door, we definitely want it to open to the inside of the house. And I'm going to give it some space because I do want side lights. So I'm going to place the door right here. All right, then I'm going to go to Load Family again and go for the side lights. These are side lights. I've got an arch top and a flat top side light. I'm going to use the arch top so it matches the door. And I am just going to go with a 12-inch wide. Okay, you've got these all the way up to 15 inches and even taller. But I just need a 12-inch by 80-inch. All right, and I want to leave enough space. Okay, and you see I'm kind of favoring the outside of the wall. That's because I want to place this in the right direction. I want the exterior side to, well, be on the exterior. But you'll leave a little bit of space because there has to be some structure there, some 2x4s and things like that in structuring that wall. And to make sure that they're even, what I'm doing is I'm looking at my dimensions, my temporary dimensions. If you look at the temporary dimensions for that first side light I placed down at the bottom, it says it is 2 foot 9 inches from the center of the door. So I want to make it the same up top. If you look at the top side of temporary dimensions, it'll tell you the distance is there, and 2 foot 9 inches is where I'm at. Okay, so there's 2 perfectly spaced side lights. All right, and I also need a back door. Now, I am going to use this one, the flat top glass door. Okay, and this one I'm going to do a 34 by 80. It doesn't necessarily have to be 36. It can be. I'm doing a 34. Save a couple of inches. And again, it needs to open to the inside of the house. And for now, I'm going to put it right here. I might change it. It's going to be anywhere along this wall in my kitchen. And this is going to be the back door. I mean, I could also put it back here with the dining room, but now that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But sometimes it might, especially if I want to do some indoor and some outdoor dining, which I was just thinking of that, and that might be a good idea. So again, we want that door opening to the inside. We'll place it right there. And we could go ahead and put another one by the kitchen just for now. We may move it later. And so that's it on those doors. Now we need a garage, a door leading into the house from the garage. And there is not a door loaded for that in Revit. So we're just going to go with a single flush 34 by 80. And what I would do in this case is just annotate the door somewhere in the process to say this is my door leading to the garage, and it needs to be a certain type of structural material. And I'm doing some more thinking here as I'm doing this. I'm going to put a laundry room somewhere between here, the garage and the house, maybe. So let's now this should, so you can have it open outside into the garage. Okay, so we're actually going to do that. We're going to open outside to the garage. Okay, now don't worry about these two doors, how they're sort of interfering with each other, because typically if you're coming in the garage, I mean, neither one of these doors are going to be open full time, anytime during the day. I mean, typically this one's definitely going to be closed, and the garage door will be closed as well. So you're using one or the other. If someone happens to be using the side door at the same time someone is using this one, well, they'll just have to watch out for each other. Okay? All right. So in annotating that door, I'm going to go ahead and do it so I don't forget to do it later. But I'm going to annotate, go to the Annotate tab, click on that, and go to Text. All right, and first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to put it in the size that I really need to be working in, which is 1/4 inch 1. Right there. Okay, that's your scale size right there. And that's just going to make my lettering not so big and intrusive. So I'm going to choose this door. I've got the arrow selected. I've got the arrow with an elbow. Okay, 2 segment leader. Okay, so that is a leader with text, 2 segment. Click here, come out a little bit, and go out to the side and click. And I'm going to call this one a metal foam core. Okay, and that should be enough. All right, I didn't spell it right. Put an A there. Now, too, you want these annotations to all be capitals, so you can actually highlight that and click this button right here that converts everything to capital. Close that. Okay, so now that one is annotated for metal foam core. I may come back later and change the text size. Let's see, 3/32. It's a little smaller. That's what I want right there. Okay. All right, so that tells me metal foam core door for the garage. The rest of them, except for the external doors, may be metal foam core, but they may be some other heavier duty, thicker wood, definitely with a core material inside of it for security reasons. The inside doors are just going to be hollow doors, made of very cheap material. They don't need to be weatherproof or very strong. They just mainly need to provide a separation of space. Okay, so now we have all of our doors. The next video we will cover windows.